Piranhas are perhaps one of the most terrifying and mysterious fish on our planet. Despite their small size, nature has given these fish a truly fearsome weapon: teeth that can cut through flesh as easily as a scalpel. These little killing machines can work with incredible speed and coordination, tearing even large prey to shreds in a matter of minutes. But are they really as dangerous as they are portrayed in horror books and movies? Or is their bloodthirsty reputation just a myth? In this episode, I'll show you what happens when you put a live catfish in an aquarium with wild piranhas and see what they are really capable of. You'll also learn many amazing facts about these South American river predators. From their behavioral characteristics and incredible bite force to astonishing discoveries that baffle even scientists. Support this video with a like, and let's get started. What if you throw a live catfish to piranhas? Translated from the language of the Tupi Indians, who lived in what is now Brazil, the word piranha meant biting fish. This is not surprising, as these creatures have terrorized anyone who dared to cross the Amazon River for centuries. Piranhas are known for their razor-sharp teeth and swift attacks, from which there is no escape. We have heard a lot about how piranhas tear their prey to pieces in a matter of minutes, but few have seen how this actually happens. One blogger decided not to rely on hearsay. He conducted a risky experiment. A man placed a live catfish in an aquarium with wild piranhas to demonstrate how ruthless these toothy predators can be. The reaction was instantaneous. As soon as the catfish was in the water, a hungry pack swirled around it. At first, the predators seemed to be playing with their prey, chasing it, cornering it, and preventing it from escaping. But with each passing minute, the tension quickly grew, and soon the first bites pierced the scales. Small, quick jerks, and pieces of flesh began to disappear before our eyes. The catfish desperately thrashed from side to side, but surrounded by a whole pack, it didn't stand a chance. After a short time, it lost part of its tail and soon turned into a pitiful mess. Such is the harsh law of nature. In a world ruled by hunger and instinct, only the strongest survive. However, piranhas do not always kill their prey. Often they limit themselves to only part of the body, such as scales or fins. This unusual way of feeding has even been given a scientific name: lipidophagy, which consists of eating the scales of other fish. Young piranhas especially often indulge in this diet, but for some species, it remains the main diet for the rest of their lives. For example, the wimple piranha hunts very ingeniously. It accelerates like a torpedo and delivers a precise blow with its open mouth. At the moment of collision, its teeth cut off entire plates of scales, and the force of the blow knocks them out completely. The result is a real tank with knives underwater. A terrifying picture if you imagine yourself in the place of the victim. What would happen if you fell into a pool of piranhas? Imagine a huge aquarium filled with dozens of piranhas shiny like polished metal. You are standing on the edge, and only one question is spinning in your head: what would happen if you stepped inside? Most people would probably give the same answer. Within minutes, only a bare skeleton would remain of the person. We often see this image in horror movies and books, where piranhas are turned into killer monsters. But is this true, or have myths and legends greatly exaggerated their bloodthirstiness? In fact, Piranhas are much more cautious fish than is commonly believed. Contrary to their fearsome reputation, they pose almost no danger to humans. There are many accounts of people swimming peacefully in rivers teeming with these predators and coming ashore without a single scratch. One of the most striking experiments was the daring act of Herbert Axelrod, a famous biologist who devoted his life to studying tropical fish. To prove that piranhas do not hunt humans, he filled a pool with dozens of these toothy predators and dove right in wearing only swimming trunks. For a while, Herbert swam calmly among the fish, and they showed no interest in him whatsoever. But the scientist decided to go even further. He took some fresh meat soaked in blood in his hand and continued to stay among the piranhas. It seemed that a bloodbath was about to begin. However, the fish behaved as if the man in the water simply did not exist. The same piranhas that instantly pounced on pieces of meat when thrown in, without a human presence, now avoided him. This experiment proved that piranhas are not mindless killing machines, but rather cautious and even timid creatures. They stay in large schools not because it is easier for them to attack together, but because they themselves need protection from larger predators. The larger the school, the less likely you are to become someone's lunch. When a piranha is alone, it becomes noticeably more anxious, less confident, and even completely refuses to hunt.
Nevertheless, these fish cannot be called completely harmless. For other inhabitants of the Amazon River, piranhas are a real nightmare. Their powerful jaws can tear their prey apart in seconds, and their muscular bodies allow them to make lightning-fast attacks. Scientists have even proven that the bite force of a piranha relative to its body size is one of the highest among all animals on the planet. An ordinary piranha can easily bite off a human finger, so caution is still advised. However, it is worth emphasizing that there has never been a single documented case of piranhas killing a human being. Their image as water demons is largely the result of myths and Hollywood movies. In reality, piranhas are omnivorous creatures. They eat fish, insects, mollusks, carrion, and even vegetation. Moreover, there are species among them that can be called vegetarians. And now for the most unexpected facts. Did you know that piranhas can scream like crows? Yes, these predators make strange sounds, ranging from a dull hum to a croaking noise. Watch on to find out how piranhas communicate with each other and what other secrets this underwater predator hides. Piranhas make sounds. Many people believe that piranhas are silent killers, whose strength lies in their teeth and speed. But few people know that these fish can talk. Their speech is so unusual that scientists have only recently begun to take a serious interest in it. It turns out that piranhas have a real set of sounds, each of which serves a specific purpose. For example, fishermen often say that piranhas they catch start making a cawing sound right in their hands, like crows trapped in a cage. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. In laboratory experiments, when researchers place several piranhas in an aquarium and equip them with sensitive microphones, they heard a whole repertoire of underwater sounds. Scientists have identified at least 3 main types of signals. When the fish fought over food, the school emitted a dull, low-frequency sound resembling a drum beat. If one piranha swam too close to another, a characteristic cawing sound could be heard. Researchers suggest that this is a manifestation of aggression, a kind of warning: "Don't come near me." But when chasing prey, piranhas used a third instrument, the grinding of their teeth, which sends a chill down the spine even of those who simply listen to the recording. But how do they manage to make such sounds? The secret lies in their swim bladder. The powerful muscles around it work like drumsticks. They squeeze and release the bladder with varying force and speed, creating a whole range of sound signals. Computer modeling has shown that piranhas have complete control over this process. At the right moment, they can scream like a crow, make a humming sound, or grind their teeth as if demonstratively sharpening their knives before an attack. Thus, these fish are not just silent predators. They have their own language, primitive but understandable to their fellow creatures. And when a dull drumbeat or an ominous grinding sound suddenly echoes in the water, it means that a real underwater drama is unfolding beneath the surface. Piranha jaws. Now let's take a closer look at the piranha's main weapon, its jaws. These fish may not be the ruthless monsters they are portrayed as in horror movies, but the power of their bite is truly impressive. Scientists have proven that despite their small size, piranhas bite with a force that many predators can only envy. In 2012, scientists conducted a series of experiments with one of the largest modern species, the red-eye piranha. The results were staggering. Its bite force was a whopping 320 newtons. To put that into perspective, that's almost 3 times more than an American alligator of comparable size. In other words, when comparing the relative power of their bite, piranhas are the real record holders among fish, leaving even crocodiles and sharks far behind. The anatomy of their jaws is no less impressive. Nature has created a real cutting tool. When a piranha snaps its mouth shut, its teeth, sharp like rhombuses carved from metal, close perfectly evenly without the slightest gap. This allows it to literally cut pieces of flesh from its prey's body. And it does this almost effortlessly. One sharp bite and the prey has already lost a piece of its body. This is the secret of its predatory success. The piranha does not just bite, it acts as if it were operating a surgical scalpel underwater, but with the force of a hydraulic press. That is why even large fish feel defenseless when they find themselves near this tiny predator. The benefits of piranhas. Piranhas are far from being mindless killers, and certainly not super predators, as they are often portrayed in films. In reality, they play an important role in the ecosystem of the Amazon and other rivers in South America. Scientists call them mesopredators, that is, a link in the food chain that plays several roles at once. They are hunters, scavengers, and sometimes even prey for larger animals. In addition, by actively hunting and eating the remains of dead fish, piranhas clean water bodies of trash, prevent the spread of disease, and help maintain balance among other inhabitants. It can be said that it is thanks to them that the ecosystem of tropical rivers remains healthy and dynamic. Their presence influences the distribution of populations, shapes the structure of communities, and determines which species of fish and wild animals can thrive in these waters. What is particularly interesting is that piranhas themselves, despite their fearsome reputation, serve as an important food source for many predators. They are eagerly eaten by herons, cormorants, and other birds, as well as larger fish. In other words, piranhas are not only the terror of the underwater world, but also a necessary link in the survival of dozens of other species. So in nature, they play a much more important role than simply being aquarium monsters with sharp teeth. Would you dare to jump into a pool full of hungry piranhas and swim among these toothy predators? Share your thoughts in the comments. Also, be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it and check out our previous episodes about wild animals. See you!